Let's talk about the documentary that no one's talking about.
Njengomuntu bengazi into osuke Eastern Cape benza yothina music ndifike ndithi ngealbum ayikho lonto le. So izinto ezinjalo bezinifaka engxakini kakhulu nokuthi umsebenzi wami ubukwazi uba mawubanjwe kuphushwe okavusa umsebenzi yabo.
For me, I know exactly what the problem was. Vusi came up, had a hit, okay? And he couldn't handle the fact that there was another artist that was having a hit. And he had to actually watch somebody shine. And that pissed me off. Because in actual fact, Vusi watched him, Vusi supported him all the way. Supported him all the way to the top. But he couldn't do the same thing for Vusi.
The documentary itself has a lot of old footage. It's not recently shot, but it has a lot of things that we've always wondered about. Things we've never heard of. The scene is set in Johannesburg in an old factory or warehouse setup. The scenes are shot in a slightly darkish shot as if they knew that he has some dark details of the music industry. On episode 1, the man behind the label is Lance, the well-known owner of Motherland, or as many know them as, Ghetto Ruff. Lance, mostly known, or at least allegedly the guy that gives artists drugs and puts them up at his many houses and underpays them. His aura says I'm here to answer questions and I'm not scared of anyone really. He sports a black Adidas sweater for the episode and clear eyewear so we can see through his eyes while he tells us his side of the story. He kicks off the documentary talking about how he started in the music in the mid-80s because he was looking for a way to turn the apartheid government over through music. He talks about how he found his first possible solution through Ready D after he saw him scratching. Even though the song he was scratching wasn't political, there was a light bulb moment. He saw something that could travel globally to raise awareness. Basically, from that vision, POC, Props to the City, was born. Ishmael steps into the light as they mention POC, a teacher's favorite from what I see, and he speaks well and highly of Ghetto Ruff. No complaints from him on this docu. He sports a black crisp shirt with black sunglasses so you can't see his eyes as he tells you his side of the story. Ishmael is now with Ghetto Ruff in a group that's the first act in the stable. He does Vavas J with Scheme and his music career booms. Ishmael is the main star at Ghetto Ruff at this stage, but things change. In comes Zola. Ishmael himself mentions how when Zola came in, things changed. Attention started gravitating to Zola because he was the next big thing. It was a shift in the label. The documentary then goes on to touch on Zola and they mention how Zola was incredibly special. Lance touches on his songwriting skills and his impeccable ability to captivate an audience during his live performances. Lance mentions that Zola was the first artist that they believed had the entire package, a superstar, and the first artist they were building from the townships. Lance then mentions how Zola was taking too much of his personal time with his artist needs as well as personal issues to keep the company afloat. He mentions that he handed Zola over to Delphine. In walks in Delphine, his COO, Chief of Operations at Ghetto Ruff. Delphine is soft-spoken, just like Lance. They seem harmless. She sports a black sweater with stars on it, almost like she's indicating how many stars she's made in the game. I hear she gets things done. She starts off by speaking highly of Zola, but then begins to mention that the ego got big and personal issues and politics were getting in the way of business. Delphine mentions a situation where Zola was doing bookings through his other company and some of the employees at the stable and was later busted by the owner of the label, Lance. Zola then told the company to drop the charges or he would leave the entire label. At the time, the stable had 9 acts, including Joop Joop. The stable decided to go ahead with the charges. Zola was then told by his advisors that he was apparently owed 18 million rand by the label. The papers had a field day and ran with the story. And basically, that's how their relationship ended with Zola. Money issues. The documentary then moves on to talk on Jozi and how the group was formed and their vision. Again, well articulated by Deleuze and Ishmael. Ishmael was given another opportunity to shine. Now, let's get into the heavy bits of episode 1 with a lot of detail. Vusi versus Nathi. Vusi Nova touches on how he first heard of Nathi while in a meeting, and Sipo from Ghetto Ruff was playing Nathi in the background. And Vusi basically heard him playing in the background and asked for his name. Fast forward, flew him out to Joburg. He then basically put him in touch with the label, and they both were now at the same record label. Vusi then says the issue started soon after Nathi started getting going. Accusations are vast and wide, but basically, without spoiling it, Nathi felt like they punished him in many ways by pushing music back, whilst preferring to push Vusi forward. Lance had a different stance on the matter though. To cut the long story short, Nathi said the label was horrible. They offered drugs to their artists and says he saw it with his own eyes. Apparently, Lance told Nathi once that some things weren't possible to achieve sober. Nathi then goes to mention that Ghetto Ruff started holding gigs away from him after they realized he wasn't happy with them. They apparently paid people not to play his music. Lance says these accusations are false. I'll stop there to avoid spoiling it. The documentary's episode 1 is packed with germs, and I guess that's why it's episode 1. Do yourself a favor and watch it, especially if you're interested in a music game or doing anything music related. Alright, I think I've shared as much as I could without spoiling the show for you. I know it's on Netflix and not a lot of us have it, but if you can, get a friend, family member, or somebody that has Netflix and go check out the show. It's mind-blowing. Episode 2 reviews on the way. We're talking about it being entertainment. Don't miss it. Please subscribe for more videos and check out our other videos too. Road to 2K subs, then we start doing some discussions. My show face, and we just discuss some top stories, weekly stuff, and we could possibly do lives. Can't wait for that one. Alright, that's all I got. I'm out.